Hello, welcome back to the James Ramping Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode, this is a definite interesting one because I'm going to be mixing up the bag in terms of the review show tonight, as I actually got done watching the Yakuza live action movie a few days ago. I never actually reviewed it because I was focusing on and honing in on the fact that we were going to do Speak No Evil, so I had to kind of put it on the backlog. But so I'm not going to beat around the bush as to why, these explanations as to why I watched the movie, because I'm going to be talking about why I decided to watch the movie and the context part of the video. But I'll give you the rating out of 10 and all that kind of stuff and what the movie's actually about, because yes, I will be giving away stuff about this movie because I'm such a big fan of the Yakuza games and stuff like that. I have to mention whether I feel like that this adaptation is worthy, commendable, should you actually watch this, or is it just crap because of how it changes stuff from the games and stuff like that, or in this case in the game because it only adapts one actual Yakuza game, and I will explain why later on. So there's definitely that. And so what is the context behind everything here? So the Yakuza live action movie from 2007 is directed by Takashi Miike, and pretty much I love the Yakuza franchise, right? I've played the Yakuza games, I've played every single Yakuza game. There's even a new Majima game that I never really talked about because it was just a trailer, but I am absolutely excited for that. And I've played every single Yakuza game. I've played every single Yakuza game like 2 or 3 times. Yakuza 0 is the pinnacle. The rest of the games, they all have their flaws to it, but I just love the universe and how it expands the lore every time you play it. Like, there's a continuous storyline, and every game is pretty much a sequel to the next game. So there's a lot of interesting kind of things that happen, and I've been with the franchise since COVID, so I just love this stuff. And so when it comes to what Like a Dragon, or the Like a Dragon movie is called, the movie in Japanese is actually Ryuga Gotoku Gekijoban, if that's probably the best way to say it, Ryuga Gotoku Gekijoban, right? And so it means Like a Dragon, the movie. And so what this movie is actually about, right, it's like you've got Kiryu, you've got Haruka, and all that kind of stuff, where we're trying to find out who Haruka's mum is, right, and where she is. There's also the 10 billion yen stuff, and then what is really interesting about this movie is that you actually figure out that there's like this robbery going on, and then there's all this other stuff happening with these other characters that was never in the Yakuza game that it's based on. So this game is actually based on Yakuza 1 from 2005, because this is 2007, so we didn't have Yakuza Kiwami yet, so it's basing it off of that. And so there's definitely that. And so let me get into the nitty gritty about how I actually feel about this movie. Now, you might have been clicking on this video thinking, do I absolutely hate this movie because it's a live action movie from the 2000s? Oh, it's just slop. Oh, it's just a bad boy. It's just horrible. No, I'm actually going to say this right now, that this might sound like I am glazing this movie. It might sound like I'm actually praising the heck out of this movie, and it's like, oh, are you joking right now? But I absolutely love this movie. I'm going to defend it right here. But I will also I'm going to criticise it as well. What I really do enjoy about this movie, though, is how it actually embraces the silliness from the Yakuza games, and how, as you watch the movie, it's just really, really silly, really, really cheesy, and you've got to realise that the Yakuza games are really over the top. There is a lot of serious moments, and there's a lot of over the top stuff. So the fact that they are managing to actually encapsulate this in the movie is also pretty interesting, because what's also really good about it is because they actually filmed it in Japan, so it feels like, yeah, they've actually taken that city from the games, the Kabukicho, whatever, right, to the games, and they've put it right in the live action. That's what's good about it. You could argue that Kiryu, he looks a bit weird, and he looks like he's got so much suntan or whatever, or he's got a spray tan going on. But it's like, he is a fun character, and the actor really has fun in the role, and that's what's really good about it. And then you've also got how they find out Haruka stuff like that. And then Majima, see Majima's performance, Majima's performance is peak. I'm not gonna lie, like, his performance is peak cinema, because the way that he is just so crazy and so silly is like, Kiryu-chan, 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 and it's like, yes, this is what we've been dying for. This is the moment of all time, because Majima is just an awesome, crazy character that is obsessed with Kiryu. And if you've played Yakuza Kiwami or Yakuza 1 from 2005, right, whatever version you played, Majima was actually like pivotal to Kiryu's storyline. There was Nishiki, but Majima is actually quite important to the lore of Yakuza. So the fact that you do get that, but there is a lot of scenes where Majima and Kiryu are just fighting each other. It doesn't make any sense, and it's just really cheesy and it's really funny. However, what I will say though that really is really weird about this movie is the subplots, man. Because see the subplots where they have this whole thing about these two Japanese dudes robbing the bank and they've got all this stuff, and it's like, does that actually make any sense? Is this going anywhere? And it doesn't really go anywhere as you watch the movie. And then you've got the whole thing where you see Nishiki, the actor, just shows up 5 minutes before the movie ends, or half an hour before the movie ends, or something like that. And it's like, yeah, the movie, we could have had him earlier in the movie, because Nishiki is actually a lot more involved in the Yakuza game, Yakuza 1, right? So it is a bit strange as to why they decided to do that. But this kind of interpretation tries to have more Majima than it has Nishiki, so that was kind of interesting. And then there's actually this whole thing where there's this romance between a boy and a girl, and they hit it off, and they're robbing stuff, but they are totally unrelated to the robbers with the masks on in the movie. So there's a few plot holes where they don't really care about the game, but when they care about the game, oh my god, it is actually peak, because there is a moment in this movie where they show off the Stamina X bottles. It's like a sponsorship. It's like, yeah, that is the Yakuza games for you, where you see Kiryu, he's bleeding, he's got like he's patched himself up, and then he's drinking the Stamina X, because in the game you have to do that, otherwise you have no HP, no health at all, and you'll die. So the fact that they managed to encapsulate that was funny, and just the way the action, see the way they do the action is quite fun as well. And this movie, I'm not gonna lie bro, this movie is well paced. I was locked in, I'm not gonna lie, right? I know this sounds like a joke right now, but I absolutely felt like the movie was going, like it was an hour into the movie, and then I look again, the movie's already over, and the movie is almost 2 hours long, and it's like, this movie is not 2 hours long. This movie is at least 90 minutes to an hour, and so out of 10, I'm not gonna lie man, this movie is solid 8 out of 10. Like, if you cut out the subplots and maybe some of the cheesiness that's just like, oh my god, why are we doing this crap? And the inaccuracies with how Majima's eye patch is and everything, like, you would probably go down to 5 or 6 out of 10. But because you know it's an older movie, you kinda know that you're in for something really cheesy, and it's something from the past where times were a bit more awkward and we didn't know how to do things a certain way, and things were done a different way back in the day. So there's that. So I've said quite a lot about this movie. Hope you enjoyed this kind of running commentary on how I felt about Like a Dragon the movie. And I did say that, but I just remembered something about this movie, that the ending song, wow, I can't express this enough, but the ending song to this movie, I literally listened to the whole song, because it was like this jazzy, like upbeat kind of like Japanese song, and I actually found it on Spotify and started listening to it. Wow, it was awesome. I couldn't stop it. And so yeah, you probably didn't even expect me to glaze the Yakuza movie before GTA 6, but here we are guys, we actually did it. We actually glazed this movie, and I did kind of criticise some of it, but yeah, out of 10, 8 out of 10, Yakuza the movie, that's it, right? This video might be a bit longer than usual, but just bearing in mind that I do spend a lot of time, I spend a lot more time, when I talk about Yakuza, I spend a lot more time discussing it. So yeah, see you next time. Sayonara, you know, Kiryu-chan, 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 Kiryu-chan. Hope you enjoyed the video, Kiryu-chan the sky.